gag me, take me to the bunny ranch. People dying, kill me in the packing house.
That's definitely the best thing we can do is deafen people within the first 5 seconds of our podcast.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome to Bunny Ears. If you can still hear us, welcome to Bunny Ears.
Bunny Ears podcast. Yes.
Who are you, sir?
My name is Mr. Macaulay Culkin. Mr. Metaphor.
Can you say that one again? Because that's tough. Macaulay?
Macaulay McLachlan.
Maclaury Clocklin.
Actually, it was one time, my mother still loves this one, walking down the street, and this guy from across the street goes, "Oh, shit, that's Mecca-Lecca Clucklin." So I'm still Mecca-Lecca Clucklin.
My dad used to refer to you as Macaulay Culkin.
Yeah, I always get McCulkins.
What did your parents call me?
Oh,
how did they?
that Jewish kid.
Oh, okay, that
from
makes
down
sense.
the street.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know us, I played Kevin McAllister in Home Alone 3.
And I've been podcasting for years.
And he's just a podcaster.
Yeah, just some lowly podcaster.
I actually played Shmuley McAllister. Who's never seen and never mentioned, but heavily implied.
Rabbi Tuplets.
Yeah. I'm like a dude who does podcasts and stuff.
What's your name?
I'm Matt Cohen, and I've done some pod stuff over the years that you may have heard, probably not, and people know who you are.
I mean, sure. Like, yeah.
Right? You were in that video, that YouTube video with the Uber driver.
Yeah, that was... Yeah,
you're the famous YouTube kid.
That's me. I'm the YouTube guy. I ate a slice of pizza on YouTube.
Speaking of YouTube and all things modern media, as it were, why the fuck are we podcasting? What is this? What are we doing?
Why
Mac?
do anything? What the hell are we doing?
Why even get up, right, kids?
Yeah, exactly.
What is Bunny Ears, man? Why are people listening to us right now?
Gosh,
and why have you waited this long to jump into the fray, as it were?
I have no idea. Just kind of figure it's we'll just mess around. We're Matt Cohen over here, and we're big talkers. We talk all the time, and we always finish each other's steak sandwiches. Oh, okay,
sample sales.
Yeah.
Close.
We were close that time.
We'll get there eventually.
We'll find it. We'll ruin that bit someday.
Oh yeah. Oh, we'll ruin it. Episode 2.
Yeah. And,
Stay tuned.
And just talking like shit and shop, and just kind of just
I mean,
flying blind.
A little peek behind the curtain, but like we kind of have very common sensibilities, as it were, and we are friends IRL. And I about a week ago jokingly brought up the fact that we should do a podcast, and you were like, "Yeah, we should do that."
Let's do it.
And I didn't expect that, so here I am across the country from where I live, in Mac's secret bunker.
Yeah, and most of the things I do in my life, in my adult life, are brought up jokingly. So
yeah, so I took the initiative. This joke backfired on you, man.
Yeah,
now you got a house guest and a podcast.
Yeah, oh gosh, now I got you on my couch, and we're in my hovel.
What is your podcast experience? You listen to a lot of podcasts, right?
Not even like a ton. I've kind of like sometimes I've gone down that hole, and like just certain kind of podcasts. I did. It was really funny. I was talking to my buddy Rory's. Yeah, my buddy Rory.
You mean your brother?
My brother Rory, but it was his buddy Joey and stuff like that. They were staying at my place, and they said, "Oh, you know Harmar Superstars podcast?" I was like, "Well, I don't know. Tell me about it." And they kind of went on about how much they love it and yada yada yada.
Is this before you had met Harmar?
No. This is.
Oh,
like
they were just.
And so they said, "Oh, they got some really good guests." I go, "Have you ever listened to the very first and the very last episode?" And they go, "No, I don't think so." I go, "Yeah, that's me."
You're on it. You're on it.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, but I let them kind of like gave them a lot of like time to just go on and on about how much they love this podcast.
So you are not a podcast virgin. You
no,
lied to me. You told me you were pure.
It was just that one or two times with Harmar Superstar. All right? But yeah, for the most part, like I've not really like done this kind of stuff before.
Let's think of what other what is bunny ears, because people are going to be like, what is bunny ears? So
they're
bunny ears?
They're the things we're wearing on our head.
Yeah, we are wearing bunny ears, and that's all the explanation you probably need.
It cuts a gorgeous silhouette.
So what is this podcast going to be, dude? Because, like, again, I think people might be surprised that you are doing a podcast because you are not notoriously
I'm
public with your thoughts.
Yeah. I live under a rock, I guess, publicly. Well,
it's a very nice rock, guys. If you should see it,
it's gorgeous.
It's plagioclase feldspar. which I believe is an igneous rock. I don't want to brag or anything, but
Wow, look at you.
that's like the one word I remember from school.
I was going to say, I'm more of an ornithologist.
There you
so,
go.
but,
No, yeah. Well, so, what's this podcast been to me? What are we going to talk about? What brought you into what was so important that you decided to break your decades of silence?
absolutely nothing.
Good, like wrestling and like South Park and stuff, right?
You know,
Yeah.
maybe it's the fact that it's doing something different. Maybe it's the whole idea that maybe like, just, it's not like I have something to get off my chest or anything like that. It's kind of like, let's do what we normally do, but just hold microphones.
Yeah, not even on stands. We're holding them.
I'm calling mine Mjolnir.
Old school. Yeah, I like that. Yeah. I'm calling mine Louis C.K.
Woo.
Too soon. Maybe not too soon. We don't know when this is coming out.
Topical.
All right, topical. And also, he asked me first, so apparently it's okay.
So it's okay.
Yeah,
It's the Charlie Sheen of microphones.
like I think it's this too. We are both definitely like children of a certain generation, and speaking to that, like in the last few years, there's been like a big thing online with not nostalgia as much, but like people talking about shit they're into, and that's something we both kind of voraciously consume, like whether it be wrestling commentaries or like video game review videos and.
We have the same sensibilities, we do all kinds of the same kind of like junk and
Sure,
stuff.
and this seemed like an opportunity to be able to do that, but just with our voices.
Yeah, pretty much an excuse to just to do this and and just record it. And
Like we saw Thor the other night.
Yeah.
And we talked about it for like an hour afterwards, and then I realized, oh fuck, we just did a podcast about Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah, exactly.
Except we forgot the equipment.
right, exactly. So it's kind of just like,
And
why
it
not?
was worth it. If you guys only heard our Thor conversation, you would have been riveted.
Oh god, you would have been so riveted. Oh gosh, it would have been. Oh gosh,
My Korg impression. Is he like, hey man, I'm Korg. This is Meek. We're about to get on this big spaceship.
That's
yeah,
good.
I'm Korg. It takes me a minute to get in, and I've had a couple shots of whiskey, which I don't think Korg did when he recorded that film.
That's actually
work on it.
Your New Zealand is there. It's there.
It's Korg got me in, man. For years, it used to be like Weta. It was the E sound.
Yeah,
Because
it's the I's and E's.
Yeah, that is how it's different from Australian.
It's always vowels and things like I can't really do an Australian or Kiwi accent for the most part because you always fall back into British. Same thing with South African.
Funnily enough, my dad, I randomly brought up New Zealand. I was giving my dad the 5 safest countries in the world to live in because he was like, should I go on vacation to Ireland? I'm like, yeah, but like start with London. And he was like, never. I was like, why? He's like, it's dangerous. And I was like, here are the countries you can go to: Japan, Switzerland,
Norway.
New Zealand. And he goes, what's up with New Zealand? Like, who lives there? And I was like, New Zealanders. My dad's not the most worldly guy. And he was like, no, but what kind of people are they? And it took me like 10 seconds to just go, they're British.
Yeah,
They're British
exactly.
with an accent.
Yeah. And you know what? They both, the British and the Australians and the New Zealanders, they freaking hate that. they hate being compared to each other, you know. But I've always learned it was vowels and verbs, essentially, but especially vowels. And so I started working on the Australian thing. I was hanging out with these Australian chicks, and they would every time if you were watching it from the outside, it would look like I was making fun of them. Every time they would say something, I would
mime it.
I would repeat it, like kind of like I'll take a tiger beer. Tiger beer, beer. And and all of a sudden, it sounds like turn my head and I'm gonna beer.
So the entire country of Australia, all of Australia and New Zealand have just gone black on this podcast.
no.
It's just like thousands of
racism. I'm
Kiwis
totally down.
pulling their earbuds out of their ears and walking out into the outback to never be seen again, like their prime minister.
Yeah, going a walkabout.
Yeah. Have you ever been to Australia?
I have not.
Neither have
actually.
I. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a long flight.
It's a big commitment. I was just going to say the same thing.
It's an investment.
Like, hey man, if you're an Australian listener,
God bless you.
God bless you, and get us excited. Tell us reasons to go to Australia.
Yeah,
Make it worth our fucking while.
Yeah.
And don't tell me about koalas, because I know about the koalas.
And just don't be racist about it either. Like just
No, we're hardline. Please don't be racist. And hey, not all Australians are racist.
No, exactly. God,
all
that's what I mean.
Australians are racist.
I know. I was about to go even further.
I love Australians. I traveled to Japan a lot, and it's a weird country for me because it's not a weird country, but it is a silent country for the most part. Like public transportation, people don't talk.
Yeah.
When you're in the whole point is just like
Oh, it's like going to a wrestling show. Like they don't like applaud that
not
much.
sticking out, right?
Yeah,
but it'll be 1 a.m. in the streets of Shibuya, and you will hear 10 people start screaming, like, and you'll go, "Oh, Australians are here."
Yeah,
it is always drunk Australians who are also like lovely and down to like.
Oh no, they're
have a beer with strangers.
At worst, they're overly down, you know.
Yes.
But they're still like that fun.
But you could just instantly tell, like, oh, you're the fun Brits.
Yeah.
I guess it makes sense.
I've done a good amount of like just like going around Europe, taking trains, that kind of stuff, and you always find Australians. And it's like their year abroad kind of thing. Always ran into like and they're always like lots of fun and but a drinking kind of
Big
people,
ups.
which is good.
Big ups to the Aussies.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, I feel like we're like here's trying to make up for our
Here's
previous
what Bunny
comments.
Ears is about. We're about hating on Australians. We're about early WWF
and the Page Master.
and the Page Master. Oh man, here's the thing with the Page Master, and real quick, but like
you reference it a good amount.
I reference it a lot, but only because I've had like the toys on my shelf for like my entire life.
Yeah, there's one right here
we'll
that you
put up a
brought.
picture on the Soch. I brought horror, but I don't even remember what the movie is. I vaguely remember you as a cartoon and Christopher Lloyd.
I'm pretty sure I saw it once.
All right.
It was.
We're tied, but that's my favorite. That's my favorite go-to reference is Page Master.
Yeah, that's the one. Like, like when I bug Brecken,
Sure.
Mr. Breckenmeyer, just worked with him on
Changeland.
Mr.
Yeah.
Seth Green's new film and whatever. But
that you may or may not see very soon and/or already. We don't know when this. Podcast
we don't know
is
what
coming
we're doing
out.
with
yeah,
this.
So.
But like like whenever it's like you try to bring up referencing something from someone's resume, like making fun of them, I just go like, well, you know what? I loved you in Pinocchio.
in the Roberto Benigni Pinocchio, right?
In the American translation, he's doing the voice of Roberto Benigni.
Because Garfield's too easy, right?
Garfield, he already went there on Robot Chicken. I remember.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, he's like,
Brecken's
I was in
pretty
Garfield,
self-effacing.
motherfucker.
Yeah.
But I was like, no, for real, dude. Though, like, I mean, look, this is no Pinocchio, but like, let's power through this.
My favorite. Speaking of Seth Green, my favorite one for him is Airborne.
Oh, I love. I have a strong affection for that movie.
It was good. I mean, we that's the other thing too. We also you're only a few years older than me, I think, right? So we also have like we grew up in that same exact time. So our wheelhouse, as it were. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
I can make a Spaced Invaders reference all day, motherfuckers.
Exactly.
Not any of these movies hold up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We could talk. We should do an entire episode about hackers. That's what we should do.
And just their Jules Vernean attempt at guessing what computers might look like in that world.
It's fucking amazing.
There's nothing better than like futurist computer movies.
Love it.
They're like no one has ever. Minority Report's the closest, weirdly enough. Now
we should do a double header. We'll watch Airborne and Hackers. Honestly,
I'm down. Yeah.
They go perfect together. It's like peanut butter and jelly.
And that's the thing with this pod, folks. You never know what to expect. So the only consistency will be this gentleman to my left and
yourself
and myself. And other than that, like it's kind of just. We're going to kind of just take it as it goes. Like, we may do an Airborne commentary. We may do commentaries from movies we had nothing to do with.
Yeah, exactly. Let's review King of the Ring 95.
But we might just as very well interview the ghost of Nelson Mandela.
Yeah.
To clear up this whole Mandela-verse nonsense,
or
right?
Metal Mike, the guy, my homeless guy who comes by every once in a while.
100%. Or The Big Show, WWE wrestler.
Yeah.
Or we would just talk about South Park. And that's the thing. There's no rules to bunny ears. The only rules there are no rules.
Whoa!
And get some fucking bunny ears.
There's no walls. There's no rules. It's Oh yeah, that's us kids.
Take the blue pill, and I don't mean the Matrix. I mean a 10 milligram Xanax because you're gonna need it.
You're gonna need some Aleve, kids.
This is great, man. So audience of bunny ears. This is kind of just a general introduce ourselves. How do you do? But we thought we would just basically just chat for a while.
Yeah, it's exactly
no real agenda.
It's we I think we meant to write down some stuff and then we just didn't.
I wrote down talk on a podcast. So
there you go.
Mission accomplished.
You're right. Fist bump, bro. Fist bump.
Yeah, we got it.
There
Fist bump. Were you a couple weeks ago? I don't think you were there. I was at the dinner with a group of friends, and this random girl walked over to the table, and she put her hand out in a fist bump motion for someone to fist bump her. But she went fist bump. Like she announced it. So that's my new thing is when I fist bump people, I go fist bump. I go fist bump. Fist bump. Like you have to call it out.
I always hate the fist bumps that are like the limp handshake.
Yeah.
Like yeah. So
are you a firm handshaker?
I think I try to strike a balance.
As much as I dislike the limp handshake, I equally dislike that fucking like break my handshake.
Yeah, exactly. The Donald Trump-esque
Yeah,
like
exactly,
handshake,
exactly.
where kind of just like pull the person in, or like super firm.
I like
It's kinda
doing-
this is not a cock measuring contest. We're introducing each other to each other. You know?
What I've really found diffuses people is they'll do the handshake, but I'll do the like I play with their palm of their hand with my finger, like the sex, like the flirt.
I was
thing.
just about to say no. That's the
It's
gay
that,
handshake.
yeah.
That's
people
the-
don't know how to. People don't know how to deal
Believe
with
me,
that.
I have my godfather. He's
Keeping people on their
he
toes.
He swings towards the men's side kind of thing. I said, "Oh, like, can you teach me the gay handshake?" He goes, "Yeah, of course." And then and then he did exactly that. He goes, and I was like, "Are you for real? Or just messing with me?" He goes, "No, actually, like that's actually like a
Oddly enough,
a little bit of a code."
Also, the stonemason handshake.
Yes,
Same
yes.
exact
Yeah.
handshake.
Yeah.
Those two clubs, they run parallel.
Yeah, it's the what is it? It's the stonemasons and the stone walls. You know,
Sure,
the stone.
exactly. So let's general shit. So what are our big commonalities? We both love wrestling.
Yeah, wrestling. Yeah, definitely.
I've been trying to get you into New Japan a little more, and it's
Yeah.
not that you're unaware.
I dip my toe in the water casually.
And that's the thing, folks. If you're not a wrestling fan, maybe become one, and or just
Yeah.
listen to us talk about a thing you don't know about, but we're passionate about it, so that sells it, right?
Yeah, it's actually I have a blog thing pulled up right now, looking at the Survivor Series or whatever, like teams and stuff. You know, yeah.
Here's the thing, too. So, what is your wrestling background? Like, when did you get into?
Well, I mean, gosh, you can even actually my very first match I ever saw, I was doing Uncle Buck, and I was like in some suburb in Chicago, and it was one of those, like, I don't even know what it was. It was one of those, but it was one of those things where they were recapping the previous pay-per-view, which was SummerSlam '88. The very first match I ever saw was Honky Tonk Man versus Ultimate Warrior.
Oh, nice one. Honky Tonk lost, right?
He loses like in 20 seconds.
Like a 15-second match or
Yeah,
something.
because like his the opponent he was supposed to be fighting Brutus Beefcake. He got and they even had the censor bar because he got attacked by Ron Bass and he's getting his head cut.
So we'll
in
help
the
you folks
big
out real
red,
quick.
yeah.
If you don't know the following, folks, Brutus Beefcake was a barber.
Yes, he was Brutus the Barber Beefcake.
Ultimate Warrior was a maniac.
Yep, he's totally worth looking up.
Look up if you don't know who Ultimate Warrior is.
Just type in Ultimate Warrior promo.
Or jet fuel promo.
Yeah.
That man was special.
Oh yeah.
And Honky Tonk was Fat Elvis.
Pretty much Fat Elvis.
Yeah.
He was a wrestling Elvis, and he was there's two types of villains in wrestling. Essentially, there's big monsters, and there are like these
Chicken shit
chicken
heels,
shit.
they
Yeah,
call
exactly.
them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
These chicken shit.
They
and so
cheat,
he was.
they,
Yeah, exactly. They'll. Yeah, so
He used to hit
he'll
people-
poke you in the eyes
Yeah.
or something. Yeah.
His big move was hitting people over the head with a guitar, a la Jay Sherman's father on The Critic when he was El Kabang.
yeah.
El Kabang. Oh, that's a show.
That's quite a reference. Yeah. That's
I
that's
loved
cut.
The Critic, man.
Oh, yeah,
I
yeah,
really
yeah.
did. And I was like, oh, great. Here's a lifetime of loving John Lovitz. And then I was like, oh, it's just The Critic.
Yeah.
It's kind of a law of diminishing
gone too
returns.
soon.
Yeah.
But so
Mine
Ultimate
was-
Warrior runs down, boom, just squashes him in like 20 seconds, and I was like, who is that guy? And I'd never really watched wrestling before, but like instantly hooked me. Like that's why like Warrior's always in the top of my list.
Warrior seems to be the gateway for a lot of kids of our generation.
Yeah.
I weirdly enough got in a little later, so like I remember being aware of my friends having like Hogan toys, and I knew who Macho Man and Hogan were.
Yeah,
but
those Piper,
sure,
like, that kind of stuff.
But it was Survivor Series '96. It was when the Rock one was my first. I was at my friend Varun
Deadly
Dad's
Games.
house. Yes,
I love the Deadly Games.
and that was just happened to be on the TV, and I'd never watched wrestling before in my life, and I was so excited about Al Snow.
I know, right? Okay.
And The Rock. But for some reason, I loved Test. I always loved an underdog, Mac. Like,
Yeah.
when I saw Ghostbusters,
I like
I was
Test.
like, Winston's my guy.
Yeah. No, Tess is one of my boys. Like, you ever listen to OSW
Sure,
like,
yeah,
the
yeah,
reviews,
yeah.
and they have a boys club. Like, yeah, Tess is in my boys club.
This was
for
good,
sure.
man. But so I was heavy into it in kind of what they call the Attitude Era, let's say from like 97 to 2000, and then I fell out for a decade or more, and then about 4 or 5 years ago I got back into it.
Yeah.
In a way that I hadn't before. Like and again, if we're going to talk about wrestling, we'll talk about wrestling. But I'm big into what's called indie wrestling, right? So the WWF is like
McDonald's,
exactly
Disney, Coca-Cola,
and whereas the wrestling I'm into is like Arby's.
Yeah,
What's
I was gonna
even
say-
worse? Popeyes.
Your corner diner.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's like guys in VFW halls in front of like 400 people, but it's in
ROH, Ring of Honor. That would be
PWG.
that would be
I'm
the top
into.
notch.
Yeah.
PWG, I've gotten into that a little bit.
So my goal, folks,
sure.
on this show is to expose our friend Mac here to some more of that and to curate an indie experience for him and to hopefully bring him to a PWG show.
Yeah,
in
because
LA.
like I said, I cherry pick that kind of stuff. Like it's usually just a YouTube video here or there, and it's like from whatever blogs and dirt sheets that I'm reading.
But
like,
we've also been lucky enough to see a lot of wrestling in the last like year or two, right?
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
at Mania. We were both at SummerSlam.
Yeah, SummerSlam, and we did
No
Way
Mercy.
Out. No Mercy. I was going to say No Way
I
Out,
wish
but
it
it
was
was
No
No
Way
Mercy.
Out.
Yeah, I know.
So look for wrestling content on this show. A little about video game wise, you're kind of an anomaly because you I would consider you a gamer because you constantly play video games, but you're also constantly playing one video game from like 1992.
Yeah, I'm one of those guys who puts on like I've actually been playing less games like lately because I go there when I play a game. I freaking play a game. Like next thing I know, like it's like I actually would replay like Knights of the Old Republic or whatever. Mass Effect 2 is one of my favorite games. I played that game every single iteration of it. It's a long game too, but it's like I want to play.
Mass Effect 2.
I want to do every single class. Every single do it evil. I always go the light side, then dark side, and then exactly the way I would do it, and then I would do it over and over and over again in every iteration.
I love the games where
it was time consuming. Next thing I know, I'm like, that's all I am doing. So I kind of like cooled it a little bit and kind of do throwback kind of thing. Next thing you know, I'm playing F-Zero.
You play a lot of Toe Jam and Earl specifically.
Toe Jam and Earl.
That's your Toe Jam, as it were.
Yeah, exactly. That's my jammy jam. And I'm always Toe Jam. Yeah. But
Toe Jam is the skinny one.
He's the one with 3 legs. Yeah,
that makes sense. Earl seems like he'd be the other guy.
Yeah.
You look like an Earl.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Just Earl.
And you played a lot of World of Warcraft, right?
Yeah, boy howdy. Like for a couple of years.
Really, I've never played minute 1 because I know I have an addictive personality.
That's what I mean. That's why I'm not really doing the video game thing so much lately. But yeah, no, I was.
What was your
heavy into it?
Yeah, make the wowers happy. What was your guy?
I was a paladin, human paladin. Her name was Loves to Buff You. My secondary was Chick Norris, and she was a little gnome, a warrior with little like Leia buns.
I like it.
She actually had these like claws kind of thing as opposed to a sword and shield. Like she was like an aggressive. And then I had another maxed out character. It was Arcane Jane. She was a mage. Yeah, because I kept on having all these guys that guys and girls that were kind of just like metal like armor and this and that, didn't really have a lot of magic. So I was like, I want a full mage kind of thing. So Arcane Jane, which I like that. Then I had a twink.
Is that a class?
No, a twink is.
I know what a twink is.
Yeah. Well, no, not in the gay sense.
Oh, okay. That's what I meant. Like,
no, that's what I mean.
Is that also a World of Warcraft thing?
This is a WoW thing.
Okay.
Yeah. Named Bubble Boy. He was a paladin. He was a level 39 paladin. What it was twinks they had PvP, player versus player, like those kind of mini game kind of things. But the thing is, you didn't earn XP, experience points, when doing that. So what people would do, like when they were jerks like me, is you'd max out a character at like right before, because they would group things together. It'd be like level 20 through 29, then level 30 through 39. So what you do is like you get up to like you get all the best gear that a level 39 could possibly have, and like be on the verge of so pretty much I was one-shotting people. Essentially, they would run up to me and I would just hit them with my sword and they'd be freaking dead. I had epic gear, like purple gear, like that's what I mean. This is WoW talk, dude.
I know, and I go like, oh, you're such a fucking nerd. But meanwhile, I could talk about Farmville too, like this,
right? Exactly.
Heartbeat. So like, yeah. When was the last time you played like a modern console?
Mass Effect 3.
Was that PS3?
That was the 360 still.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
no, I
So you've never owned like
I don't have the next whatever Generation 9 or whatever we're on. Yeah, I don't have any of those consoles yet because it's just like.
Do you ever think about dipping into it?
Of course. All the time.
It's bad, dude. Like, I got Assassin's Creed Origins last week, and I was like, all right, cool, I'll play for 2 hours a day. And then I was like, I'll just fuck this week, and then I'll never play again. So, you know what I mean?
Yep.
I was leaving for the
always love
airport.
I love those open world ones, man. Like, so like those are killers. Like all those freaking like Grand Theft Autos and stuff like that. Those like I know are just time
I
sucks.
was late for my flight here because my Uber was outside, and I was like, I just have to get inside the Sphinx real quick, dude. And I was like, hold on, I lost my keys, and I was literally just like fucking running across the desert.
Yeah, no, I know. Believe you me,
It's so good, man.
I know. Believe you me. Like, I do the same kind of thing, but I like something like WoW, and I'm just like I'm doing some banking.
Sure. Or just EXPing up in RPGs like that.
Exactly.
Like just leveling up, EXP farming or
But
whatever.
it's also like because you also have like other like secondary or like third, fourth rate kind of characters. That
Sure.
Because you only have so many slots in your thing, like for stuff. So you would mail it to your other character.
This is timed
and
out
they
really
would go
well
banking.
for me. This is timed. I reread Ready Player One on the flight yesterday, so this is all making more sense than it typically would. Like when you said PvP, I was like player versus player.
Darn tootin'.
I get that.
Yeah.
What's your favorite video game ever made?
Ooh, it's funny because I'm actually one of those people who doesn't necessarily always have favorites. But at the same time, I love Knights of the Old Republic.
Okay.
The first one
Yeah.
is fantastic. I do love Mass Effect 2.
Were you ever an RPG guy? I guess Mass Effect is kind of an RPG, right?
Yeah, that's an RPG. Exactly. Actually, in Knights of the Old Republic, that's an RPG.
that's an RPG also. Yeah.
Played a lot of WoW. Freaking Contra.
Oh, we talked about this. We were both
Toe Jam and Earl.
we were both poke. You did red, I did blue, but we both did poke. You caught all 151 or no?
Yes. I was very thorough. It's the only Pokemon game I played, but I was very Henry David.
So
about
I
it.
have played every iteration of the main Pokemon line, and I can almost remember. I get caught after like the sixth one. I forget if I had Sapphire or Ruby or whatever, but like for a while I could clock it. Pokemon has always been a weird part of my life, and like remains so.
Because age-wise, honestly, I was like a little too old to even be playing.
was
it.
I.
Yeah. Like, but yeah, I it was my little brothers were into it, especially my brother Chris. And so I was like, I want to do something that he's into. So I got a bunch of the cards and I played the game, so I could actually like talk some shop with him.
It's funny. I had all these like nascent anime fan attributes that I didn't realize till I was like in my early 20s. Because like I loved I loved the movie Totoro, which I didn't know. Like My Neighbor Totoro, which the Miyazaki film.
Is that
That's the
big
gray guy
thing?
with the white belly?
Yeah.
So I saw that in theaters when I was like 9.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it came out in like 5 theaters in America, and my parents just randomly happened to take me to it. So I was always drawn to that, and I was always drawn to Pokemon, and it was only when I was like 19 or 20 did I go like, oh, this is an entire genre.
One of my favorite things is like finding a genre or like a niche kind of thing, and then like all of a sudden you realize there's like if you start like loving on something, and then all of a sudden you realize they have a whole back catalog.
Oh,
you have 5 or 10 years worth of stuff to catch up on.
I'm a completionist like a motherfucker. Like I read the book Master and Commander, and then I was like, there are 12 more of these, and I don't think I read the rest, but I have to buy them all immediately. I mean, you know what I mean?
I remember when I found like the Angry Video Game Nerd.
Sure.
And next thing I know, like that was like my couple of months. The Nostalgia Critic, and next thing you know, like it all bleeds into each other.
So funnily enough,
SF Debris, any of those guys. This is the middle of the show.
Can I interject for a second without you breaking my eardrums, Mr. Cloakland?
No. Okay,
I'm going to do it anyway.
Go ahead.
I feel like I've gotten to know you quite a bit in this first half of the show, man, and I hope you feel the same way about me.
No, but yeah.
But there's one half of this equation we know nothing about, and that's the listening audience. That's Warren.
Yeah, this is a one-way kind of thing so far.
So we want to know a little bit more about you guys and gals and others and whatever you want to be. And the way you can tell us more about you is you go to podsurvey.com/bunny. Take a quick little survey. Tell us a little about yourself. You can win a $100 Amazon gift card. You could then spend that on Macaulay Culkin stuff.
Yeah, get merch. Get some.
What would you like people
merch.
to buy?
I would like them to buy Little Giants.
What are we pushing?
On DVD?
Oh, we're pushing Devon Sawa movies.
Yeah,
okay.
Devon Sawa.
So,
movies.
folks,
maybe Mason Gamble too.
Go to podsurvey.com/bunny. That's BUNNY. Fill out the survey, maybe win $100. Go buy Little Giants.
No, back to everything that's normal.
Yeah, of course. This wasn't non-normal. This is the typical thing we'd have mid-conversation. Yep. Right, Matt? Big thing with the weird anime level with that is, and you've seen the room in my house in LA, my Japan room, right? And I've got that big wall with all of those toys from one show. It's called One Piece. Mm-hmm. It's the most popular anime and manga in the history of the world. Mm-hmm. It's best-selling. When I started getting into it about 8 years ago, there were already like 450 episodes of a TV show and like 500 issues of a comic. Mm-hmm. So every day for like 2 years, I caught up. Like I dedicated because I was like, oh, this exists, and it is the perfect culmination of everything I've ever been into.
Exactly. You have the advantage of not having to sit there like day by day or
where
week
I'm
by
at
week.
now. Exactly.
Exactly. Like and there's something just so. I'm the kind of guy who literally 4 days ago watched an entire season of Top Chef in one sitting.
Sure. Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
I am that guy.
Yeah. I did that the other day with on Netflix. I watch a lot of cops style shows. I keep them on in the background. And there's this one it's not shitty because I've watched 8 seasons of it. It's on Netflix. It's called You're Under Arrest, and I think it's Canadian.
I haven't gone there yet.
And I think it's definitely Canadian. I know. I've watched 7 seasons of the show. And the theme song goes, "You are under arrest. You are under arrest. You are under arrest." And I watched like 10 hours of it in a day. Or like Lock Up.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Locked Up Abroad. I like that one.
Here's my problem. I can do all the lockups. I can't do abroad because it scares me too much because I'm a pothead.
Yeah, no,
I know. You know what I mean?
I know exactly
it hits
what you're
a little
saying.
too close to home.
I know exactly what you're saying.
I'm never going to go to jail in America, but I'm afraid of going to jail in another country and getting the death penalty for a joint or something.
I pretty much I wiped down my entire bags and
Dude,
ammonia before we went to Thailand.
Whenever I travel, I go through and again for those of you who don't know me, I am a marijuana enthusiast, but legally, folks, it's medicine. But regardless, whenever I fly, I check.
I was about to make a cancer joke.
I check it's not that bad. Yeah,
I know. I'm just joking.
Just general ennui.
Sometimes I can't bite my tongue.
My doctor said it was general ennui. Here's some weed.
It's ennui.
Here's some weed for your ennui. So every time I fly, I go through all of my pockets and all of my pants I'm bringing and all of my jackets because I have landed in a city before and put on pants.
Crap,
and been
I got some in my pocket.
Oh, there's drugs in my pants.
Yeah.
So,
I know that one.
Before I leave for the airport, I won't smoke pot in the jacket I'm going to wear because I don't want to
Because you don't want to smell.
You know what I mean?
Honestly, that's something I had a friend of a friend who worked for the TSA. And they're like, that happens a good amount where it's kind of just they can smell it on you, and next thing you know, they're patting you down a little extra.
So that's what you know about me, guys. I like One Piece. I like wrestling. I like weed. That sums it up.
Yeah.
Do you ever get into anime at all?
A little bit. I've been kind of dipping my toe in it the last year or so. I watched Madoka Magica.
Okay, that's a weird one.
I know, but it's lovely.
It's great.
Honestly, it's lovely.
It's great. I
love the structure of it.
Yeah,
I love the structure of it.
It just wasn't what I was expecting for your first your anime recommendation.
I'm trying to think of the other ones that I've gone to.
You know what might be fun about the show, and it's flat out stealing elements from other podcasts, but fuck it. That's what every podcast does.
Yeah, but we're special.
You know what might be fun, dude, if we gave each other homework every episode,
right?
In the sense of you check out an episode of this anime, I'll check out this fucking band or it. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Because I think there's stuff you would dig that we just don't. No one has the time to expose each other.
Because our sensibilities are so kind of the Venn diagram overlaps so much.
I think the anime have you ever heard of or seen Cowboy Bebop?
A little bit. For some reason because I tried that when I was younger.
Yeah.
And it kind of. I didn't jive with it that hard, and so I know it's a gateway anime kind of thing.
Oh, totally.
And for some reason, I didn't jive with it, so I kind of I avoided it.
People love Attack on Titan is a new one.
Attack on Titan, I've heard of.
One Punch Man, I love.
One Punch Man, I've been hearing a shit ton about, and I haven't gone there.
Oh, it's funny.
I've actually watched reviews of it, and and go oh, this sounds awesome.
Well, we talked about that earlier, and we have that in common. There's a lot of things I know about just based on reviews, and I've never seen the thing.
We would just read about it, or we'll watch a video on YouTube or something like that.
I am up to date with TNA wrestling or Impact or whatever you're calling it.
When was the last time you actually watched a TNA show?
Just when the Hardys were on it.
Yeah, pretty much.
But I know all of the bullshit going on over there.
Evangelion, I watched that.
I like
one.
Evangelion. Yeah, I'd say my big ones were
Do you watch Ghost in the Shell?
I did Ghost in the Shell. I did Akira, of course. When I was a teenager, the primer was Akira, Vampire Hunter D it's not an anime, it's a standalone movie that's pretty good.
Ninja. What was it? There was a standalone movie, Ninja Scroll, given a VHS tape by a
Ninja
friend
Scroll?
of mine
Yeah.
back in the mid '90s, and that was. We actually ended up doing a ninja themed RPG, like role playing game, like D&D
Like a
style.
tabletop. Yeah.
but no, like come up with it on our own.
Oh, nice. I'm down for that, man. I've actually never played D&D, and the thing that always held me back was the dice.
Yeah,
Because I'm bad at math.
I have a little cabinet right there that is full of nothing but like just 20-sided, 40-sided die.
Like, my whole thing was I would love to just improv stories with my friends without having to decide if I could punch a guy.
Yeah, that's kind of what we did. It was a little looser. Like, it's not like we all had character sheets and stat sheets
Sure.
or anything like that. Like, it was a little looser. Like, kind of just, it was more kind of casual and like fun. And but they also would be an ongoing like saga as opposed to just like one day. But we weren't Nazis about
I
our
had this
D&D.
convo with my friend, our mutual friend Nick Roth the other day, who I was trying to petition to be a dungeon master.
He has fantastic hair. He's
Smart guy, Dr. Nick Roth, everyone. He has a PhD in film history.
Yes, and he's well spoken and well written.
But regardless, I was trying to convince him to not only dungeon master a new D&D game for
he'd
us,
be
but
good
to
at that.
accept my rules of no dice. And he was like, "Look, we
You
can."
need that.
He was like, "We can literally do anything you want,
You need the element of chance.
but we need dice."
You need
He's
an
like,
element- you need an
"And I'll
element of
explain
chance."
to you why."
Even if you use a standard 6-sided die.
Yeah.
But you need it like, it's like you're like, well, I want to, I want to try to pick the luck or whatever, and like you need to be able to roll something to see if you're successful, because that's the whole idea.
That's the whole
is
point.
It mixes it up. So like, I mean, that's what we would do. It'd be really like, casual, and it'd be a 6-sided die.
Well, and
it'd just be like my writer friend, like just like coming up with stories.
Ladies
then
and
we'd go there.
gents / what do you call baby? What are baby bunnies called? What should we call our fans? What should we call the listeners? What should we refer to them as?
Gosh, I don't know. That's Googleable, I guess.
The Warren. That's what you call rabbits.
We should call them listeners.
Like, what is our WWE universe name for them?
Yeah, right,
I was just going to
exactly.
address them.
Yeah.
Bunny Ears universe. Much in the sense that there we go. Much in the sense that you never know what to expect on this show.
Yeah.
We might start up a D&D game and every fucking 10 episodes drop one in. Like we could do. It's kind of fun. Whatever we talk about on this show might as above, so below.
Yeah, we might like, quote unquote, interview somebody and just end up doing all the talking.
Sure. I mean, we should do that.
That's what I'm worried about.
In the South Park sense of like when they had George Clooney on and he was the dog.
oink.
Yeah. Or we should
Or
have
bark. Yeah.
Let's get like Lin-Manuel Miranda and just never let him fucking
Still
talk.
let him talk.
And then at the end be like, all right, you could sing a Hamilton song now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's kind of like,
But like,
just
say it like a dick. Like,
give us what we got.
all right, you could sing your fucking song now. All right, do it. We know that's why you
do
can.
that thing.
Shout out to Lim. Are you a musical guy at all?
And what? Oh, you mean like
Broadway?
like
'Cause
Broadway?
Here we are in. Can we disclose what city we're in?
Yes,
Yeah, we're in
NYC.
We're in New York City, so you're up in that action. Are you a big theater guy?
Yeah, I mean, like it depends. Like it's I actually haven't gone in a while, but yeah, I mean, I'm plugged in whether I like it or not, kind of thing.
I only ask because I haven't seen it. I saw Hamilton recently, and in L.A.
I did a lot of off Broadway and like off Broadway stuff. But I've never done Broadway, but I've done West End.
Broadway.
in London.
Are you listening?
Yeah,
yeah.
Hey, there you go. I can carry
Where's
it
the
to.
invite? What did you do in the West End?
It was a show called Madame Melville.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was straight play or a musical?
Yeah, it was a straight play, 90 minutes, and it was one of those things where is 90 minutes, no intermission, and my character was only off the stage for about 5 seconds.
How old are you?
20. I was newly 20, like newly divorced.
Sure. As all 20-year-olds are.
Yeah, exactly. And and flew like 5,000 miles away, and it was actually really, really great.
How long were you over there for?
About 10 months, 11 months.
Really?
Yeah. It was. It was.
That's another
what I
thing.
did with my life,
That's another common interest we share is travel, and oddly enough, we have hung out on 3 continents now together. Right?
Holy shit, you're right.
Yeah. We've
Definitely not Australia though.
Yeah,
Fuck that place,
guys. We talked about it.
Just kidding.
We'll come there, but you got to change some things before we do. Right? It's like we'll come stay, but you got to clean those fucking sheets first. And by
'cause
that, we mean,
Aborigine-
don't be racist.
Yeah, Aborigines are not fauna. Okay.
can't we all live in the dream time? That's
We don't need to keep fucking until we're all the same color.
We hung out in France. Which you traveled to.
I lived there for years.
There.
I still have a place there. I mean, like, you know,
I didn't want to give up.
It's already kind of out there.
The
like,
ghost.
Well, you know what it is? Every time people would ask me, especially when I was living there full time, they go, "Oh, where do you live?" Especially like when a girl would say, "Where do you live?"
Paris.
And I kind of like, I'd actually like, that's the thing is that it's no matter what, if you say you live in Paris, it sounds braggy.
Yes, I was just gonna say it's almost like even it. If you are from Paris and you've lived in Paris your whole life, and someone asks you where you're from, don't say fucking Paris.
That's what I mean. Like that. So it kind of like there'd be a little bit
because it sounds
like,
fake. It sounds pretend and made up.
And like, you know, I just kind of do the bashful, like, look at my shoes, like, I live in Paris.
I'm sorry. Like you immediately apologize for living.
Yeah,
in Paris.
I'm so sorry. You know, yeah. You know.
I didn't mean to.
And they go, oh, that sounds amazing. Why do you live there? And I go, the food sucks, the wine's terrible, and the women are ugly. But otherwice, it's really great.
They
it's
have,
kind of like, why? Of
Euro
course
Disney.
Yeah, Euro Disney. That's why.
So we hung out in Paris, and then we mentioned it earlier, but this summer, you and a bunch of our mutual friends, Mr. Breckenmeyer and Mr. Seth Green, shot a movie in Thailand called Changeland, and I came out to visit.
Yeah. That was a delight,
and that was interesting to be in Thailand.
Yes, yeah. I came back with a worm. That was great.
You did?
Yes, I did.
All I came back with was a tiger mask from Tokyo.
Yeah.
And a Jushin. There you go.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, you brought me a Jushin Thunder Liger mask. Like that was rad. That's right there.
But it was cool. I've never done like friend vacations before, as it were, and it was really weird to be on the other side of the world with like 10 of my friends.
But it was fun.
It was great. Yeah.
I mean, that was the thing is that like I brought it up virtually every day. I said like we are so spoiled. It's
God,
we all like each other, and we're all doing this. Like, you know, we're all kind of pulling in the same direction
on the beach, from the beach,
exactly,
or close to it, as it were.
And we get to like, we all get to like, you know, help our friend manifest like his project.
Yeah, Seth and
we're all
directed.
So there's actually there's a certain kind of reason behind being there.
We got to hang out with the Viper, Randy Orton.
Yeah, Randy Orton
in the movie.
Yeah.
Back to wrestling.
I wanted
this just be a wrestling podcast.
I wanted to talk more shop with him, man. Like, you know, because he was only around for like the last like 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
Like I really wanted to like pick his brain and actually like even nerd out on
great,
him.
though,
You know,
man. Where's your favorite place you've ever traveled? Because you've traveled a lot, right?
Yeah. You know, oh yeah, yes, of course. Yeah,
I mean, I live in Paris. Of course, I've traveled.
No, it's one of those things like why are you living in Paris kind of things? Because it's like. Because I love it there. I really do. It agreed with my sensibilities. You know, even my bowels enjoyed it. You know,
I get it.
I'd never shit better in my whole life, kind of thing. Like, you know, love that. Love Barcelona. The thing is that I hope this doesn't come off the wrong way, but it's like I'm quite popular there. Like it's hard for me to kind of walk down the street there.
Page master.
Yeah, it's the page master.
People screaming page
getting
master
even with
at
dad
you.
fans. That's what it is, you know. And but like I would live there, except like I do get stopped like all the time, kind of thing. But at the same time, I love the people. I've never seen more people kissing on street corners in my life.
That's great.
The food is fantastic. The nightlife is really vibrant,
Especially
and I'm a huge fan of a siesta. Like, just taking a
yeah.
nap, like, you know, like late midday.
Buddy, I'm a huge napper, and at one point it was really troubling me because I was like, I was counting up my naps and then going to a real morbid place of being like, deducting that from my potential life and being like, fuck, I think I'm sleeping through like a tenth of my life when I could be on roller coasters. But so one day I Googled famous nappers, and it was an article, and it was like Napoleon, Eisenhower, people in positions of power, man. They all took a little nap after lunch.
Hitler, you know.
Yeah, all the greats, the greatest hits are the bunny ears Mount Rushmore. Dwight D. Eisenhower, Napoleon, and Hitler.
I know JFK. He would always
and
he was all about
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Kareem. I know JFK was all about the 20-minute cat
napper.
naps. Because actually, I've gotten good at napping. I'm like, you know, the older I get, the more I nap.
Sure.
But he was always about the 20-minute cat naps. And
I
like,
nap for too long. That's
like,
the problem.
Me too.
I nap for like 4 hours.
But
and
when
then
I was
it's
a
not
kid,
nap.
I'd be always working and crap like that. And like, so if you have more than 20 minutes off between scenes or whatever, you'd have to go to tutoring unless like you've already done your mandatory 3 hours. So I was always just catching whatever little sleep I could, and they were always in 10, 15, 20-minute like little chunks, like whenever I could. Sometimes my tutor would like show me mercy and let me actually like nap. She could tell I was like just like, you know, because Yeah, I was.
You were a kid working long hours.
I was, and I was like, there was a good amount of heavy lifting on a couple of the things I was doing when it came to at least just putting in the time, So
little did people know that not only were you in the film The Good Son, but you were a grip on it also.
yeah, right, exactly. I was hanging the lights.
They put that kid to work.
I mean, gosh, I got to earn my keep. That's why they pay me the big bucks. It's like I know I'm wearing on some lights.
Where haven't you? So we said Australia, and again, we love you guys, but you got some stuff to work on. where haven't you traveled that you'd like to? So, like, for instance, my favorite city in the world is Tokyo, and I got into a weird. So I went to Tokyo twice in like a year, and I fell in love, and I was like, oh fuck, I have the travel bug. So then I went to Europe, and then as soon as I got there, I was like, oh fuck, I have a Tokyo bug.
Yeah.
So I've become a little wary. So I've been like, when in doubt, I go back to Tokyo now, and I feel like I'm wasting my travel opportunities. Like, there's a lot more of the world to see.
No, I know.
So I've been compiling my list lately, and it's like, it's ridiculous shit. It's like, I want to go to Patagonia.
Wow. Okay.
You know what I mean? And like, and Madagascar. Like,
yeah, Madagascar. That's neat. There's a lot of like flora and fauna.
What's on your list of places you haven't been?
I still haven't done Greece. Still haven't done Greece or Egypt, like that kind of like that Eastern Mediterranean kind of thing. I haven't really done that. Actually, I would like to go to Australia. Like that actually like seems like really really neat. Want to kind of check that out. It's there's certain things about South America that intrigue me, but at the same time, I really 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 don't want to get kidnapped. So it's like
to our South American listeners, we're not saying you're all kidnappers, but you guys got a kidnapping problem.
But you have a kidnapping
thing. Yeah. Look, Australia said they're going to work on their racist thing. If they
right.
Can do
they
that,
just said that.
Yeah, if they can do that, you guys, come on, guys.
We're in the kidnapping thing.
We're making the world better here. On
I have the biggest target around, like on my chest, kind of thing.
Foreigner. You also physically wear a target on your chest that says, "Hi, I'm Macaulay Culkin."
I love
Home Alone and Home Alone 2.
Macaulay Home Alone Culkin.
It's your IMDb with a bullseye through it.
It's like one of those bar pattern things. Like they can kind of just like they can just click on it and boom, like it goes right to my IMDb.
And again, we don't ever want to make this all about you because I have a big ego, but. To give
my whole thing was I was worried we were going to talk over each other and keep interrupting each other.
We're doing.
Wait,
good.
did I interrupt you?
I've been purposely trying not to do that.
I know, me too.
But a little insight, right? Because you kind of mentioned it a little bit with the Spain thing. How tough is it just walking around, dude? Like,
it's tricky. It's even in the States.
Like,
it's
and
tricky.
you live in New York City. It's not like you live in a place where there aren't a lot of people around.
I am cursed and blessed with the same face.
Sure.
Like that's the thing. Is that like I'm guilty of looking like myself.
I have that problem.
And so that's one of the things in Paris.
People are pretty cool about it, right?
I thought nobody recognized me, and then somebody said no, we recognize you. We just don't care.
We're just polite and don't care.
And we have and I was like, holy shit, where have you guys been my whole life? Like that's what I've been looking for. That's one of the major reasons I moved over there, because it's like. For me, sometimes even just here in New York, just going to the corner store for a pack of cigarettes or whatever.
Which corner? I'm kidding.
Yeah. It's the kitty corner. Right there on Mercer and Great Jones. Yeah.
On 85th and 87th.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. At 302 East 94th Street. It's kind of sometimes can be a chore. Because especially this neighborhood is there's been a good amount of paps around here, and they're on their bicycles and stuff.
But that's what I dig about. I dig doing this podcast because I enjoy podcasting. You're a good friend of mine, and I like talking to you. But also, I like that this gives you a chance to interact on your own terms. Kind of. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because I think you get
unfiltered.
You get labeled as a recluse, and I don't think that's fair necessarily. You're just living your fucking life.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
and it doesn't
I'm a kook, but I'm not that kind of kook.
Sure, and I think people are kind of gonna get to learn that a little bit.
Yeah. That's the thing is that once you get me going, I have no problem sharing things. About
you're
myself.
a fucking weirdo, but you like South Park like the rest of us.
Well, exactly. Exactly. And it's I'm not. But yes,
we both appreciate the comedy of Eddie Izzard.
Yes. I love 50 years old.
It's impossible. No one was alive then. Shout out to Eddie Izzard.
Eddie Izzard right there.
Probably
our boy.
listening.
Yeah.
If I know Eddie Izzard, he's a pod whore.
and I know Eddie Izzard. Like, if I know Eddie Izzard, and I do.
You, sir, know Eddie Izzard.
Nice.
Topical. Yeah, exactly. Well, that's the thing too, and that's great that you brought that up because in terms of the full disclosure thing, you have a busy life.
Yeah.
And we want this podcast to be consistent every week.
Yeah.
On blank day. I'll insert it in.
Day.
We'll do it like Simpsons. We'll be like Denver Cowboys. That's not even what I just showed my sports knowledge.
Thank
Denver
you,
Cowboys.
There will be no encores.
But we're recording this fairly in advance.
Yeah.
So we're gonna try to stay away from like the weekly topical news.
Yeah, I think just it's a great way to alienate half your audience
Exactly.
when you talk politics and things like that.
It just makes the podcast like a weird time capsule.
Yeah,
you know what I
exactly.
mean?
Like, okay, I could bring up the Kevin Spacey stuff and the Harvey Weinstein stuff, but this might not go on for another like month or 2 or 3. And next thing you know, they just saved a group of children from a burning school bus.
We don't know what the stuff is. We don't know what the stuff is yet, man.
Yeah.
So I kind of can imagine what the stuff's going to be.
Yeah,
I don't think we're going to see President Harvey Weinstein. But you know what? That ain't fucking necessarily true.
But you like I said, you never know.
With current President Donald Trump, and I can assume that we can date it like that. Though. That's okay.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not overly topical. He'll be in for a minute.
Mm-hmm. Or you just talk about old news.
Look, did you hear about that Lindbergh baby?
Did you hear about McKinley getting shot? Like, oh my God.
I think he got shot by the Lindbergh baby. That's what I was going to tell you. That Lindbergh baby shot McKinley.
We should just do a whole like false history.
But you can't prosecute.
Episode.
That's the thing. You can't prosecute babies, so the baby's free and clear.
There you go.
And that baby
was a young Jodie
Foster.
That's your kids will learn this. So
You'll learn about the young Jodie Foster.
Young Jodie Foster. For some reason, there's something about like this old like producer like thing.
Have you ever named that guy?
Not at all, but it's some kind of. There definitely ends in Steen.
Marvy Weinstein.
Yeah, there's definitely a Steen in there.
Harvey, it's your cousin, Marvy Weinstein.
And it's kind of this whole thing where it's like, oh well, I was casting this zombie movie in the '70s, and we were meeting all these young actresses, and this young lady comes into my office, and I knew for a second, like right away, that she was going to be a star. Of course, I didn't hire her, but I just knew that she was going places. And that woman was a young Jodie Foster. Swear to God, wouldn't believe it if it wasn't true. You know, and like this guy who kind of keeps on talking about the stuff that he didn't do and his brushes with things. And like explaining to his like grandkids,
like how he was almost involved.
How he was
in a lot
almost
of
like great,
That's great. I like that actually.
Yeah.
Young scruffy college kid comes to me. He says, "Hey, I want to make a movie. It's outer space opera up there on the planets, and you got the swords,
some kind of war,
and they're made out of lasers. There might be a war involved. You got a girl in a bikini, but and you know what it was? It was George Lucas in Star Wars.
It was a young
George Lucas. Did I make the film? Of course,
of
not.
course
of
not.
course not.
Yeah, no.
But
I did Killer Tomatoes, instead.
Yeah. Cartoon. Remember the cartoon?
Yes,
there was a short
of the Killer Tomatoes.
So there was a time. I have like I lost a lot of my childhood when I moved out of my house because my mom threw it out because I guess she decided that was something she wanted to do.
Yeah, exactly.
But I maintained a lot of my like little figures I had as a kid, like little Hallmark plastic toys and McDonald's toys.
Yeah.
And when people come over, they freak out because there was a weird period of the '90s. And I have the toys to prove it. We're on TV at one time. There was a Back to the Future cartoon.
Yes.
There was an Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
There was a Toxic Avenger.
There was a Bill and Ted cartoon.
Yep. There was even remember the Clerks. That was later, but
the Clerks cartoon is great. But
Rosie O'Donnell had her own cartoon.
You're right, Lil Rosie.
Yep.
It was on HBO.
Camp Candy. Louis Anderson had one.
Lil Louie. Were they just Lil and then?
I had one.
Did you?
Yeah.
What was your cartoon?
It was called Wish Kid.
Holy fuck! You did have a cartoon called Wish Kid. Holy shit!
Yeah. Listen, they were handing it to anybody.
How long did it run?
One season, like maybe 13 episodes.
What was it about again?
Oh, I had a magic baseball.
Fuck.
I had a magic baseball glove.
You did.
And I would like punch into it, and I could get any wish I want. But of course, you know how wishes go. They backfire. It's the monkey paw kind of thing. And but it was like, listen, they were handing out Saturday morning cartoons like they were a moose bouche,
Sure.
so
whet your appetite for that boring Saturday afternoon.
Exactly. So it's
For
like,
Hoop Dreams. Sorry, guys. Saved by the Bell's over. It's time for Hoop Dreams.
Hoop Dreams.
Go fuck yourselves. It's not even California Dreaming. It's fucking Hoop. No, it's not Hoop Dreams. No. Shit, that was a decade. Hoop It Up.
Oh God,
That's what it was called.
Like, no, you just tickled my brain.
Hoop Dreams was great. That was that 5-hour documentary that I saw on theaters.
I know Hoop Dreams. Arthur Agee.
Yeah, and
Gates.
And who's dead now?
No.
His brother killed someone.
Something like that.
Hey, remember one of the guys in the movie? They keep interviewing his older brother, who was like a star previous.
Yes. This Gates, William Gates.
Yeah, he murdered someone in the last 10 years and is in jail now.
The thing is, I have the vague
Hoop dreams. Hoop dreams.
What other murders should we talk about?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many good ones,
right? I mean, God, don't get me started.
Oddly enough, I've been on like a big true crime kick lately, and I think you can thank Serial for it, probably, right?
Or Making of a Murderer,
Sure.
or whatever. Like that was a big gateway.
But there's a ton of podcasts and like YouTube shit, like Unsolved Mysteries and like cold cases and shit like that.
Yeah, doesn't it?
It's become weirdly
NPR have one too.
Yeah, there's a ton, and it's odd that I go to sleep listening to stories of missing children.
Yeah,
but like it's become my
found disemboweled.
100%. Well, I used to do it to SVU. Like I would be dozing off, and I'd hear someone say like,
"This is the rapiest show on television."
I would be dozing off, and I would hear fucking Chris Maloney be like, "We found her penis. We found his penis severed in her mouth." And I'd be like, "What's happening on this show?"
Yeah.
Every once in a while, I tune out, and then you tune back in, and they say the most heinous shit.
I have gone down that hole of there's Law and Orders in general, but then SVU. I'm telling you, it's fantastic, but at the same time, it is the rapiest show on television. I mean,
Sure.
that's the whole point of it.
Hey, man, some crimes are particularly heinous.
Some crimes are particularly rapey.
And these are those crimes. I started with SVU, so when I tried to go to the other ones, I was like, I can't do this, man.
I like Criminal
The
Intent.
stakes aren't there. Is that D'Onofrio?
Yeah, he's fucking he's
great.
He's great. Like he's really, really great.
He's had a cool career, man.
I think he's fantastic.
Doing random shit, right?
Yeah.
He's everything from Thor and Adventures of Babysitting to
the
Gomer Pyle.
the weird bug dude from the first Men in Black.
Edgar, man.
Yeah, from the first Men in Black.
Edgar.
Yeah,
He wanted sure water.
Yeah.
Not lemon water.
Yeah.
Not ice water, but sure water.
Sure water.
He got a lot of play this year with all the Steve Cronin. I already forgot that guy's name. Good. Bannon. Steve Bannon.
Oh yeah.
The Trump advisor.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. So
Bannon
every meme every day was just pictures of Edgar from Men in Black because he looked like spitting image of fucking Bannon.
I know some of those late night guys. They make a lot of really good Bannon jokes.
I think my tweet when he retired was he announced he's going to pursue a career in drinking sugar water.
Sugar water.
Sugar water. Kingpin. Did you watch the Netflix Daredevil?
I'm behind. I watched the first season and I enjoyed it very much.
Second season is a lot better.
Fantastic.
And he's fucking great.
He is
on
fantastic.
it.
He's actually one of Marvel's best villains across the board. Everyone loves, Hiddleston is Loki, and me too.
Sure.
But yeah, no, where D'Onofrio's going and coming from, I'm in. Yeah.
And it's interesting. Is he still on Criminal Intent?
No,
right?
I'm not even sure. I don't think that show's on anymore.
Oh, how little. SVU still is somehow.
Yes, that one. I think that's the only one left.
Like none of the original cast except BD Wong, I think.
They had like 4 of them going at one point. They had SVU, they had Criminal Intent, they had the original, and they had the Los Angeles one for a second.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, with the devil's favorite actor, Skeet Ulrich.
Yeah,
remember South Park? They actually
poor man's Johnny Depp.
Yeah, remember in South Park when they go visit the devil and and he's at his desk and he has a framed Skeet Ulrich on the picture on there.
What show is it? Oh fuck! Never mind. I can't even remember now. What TV are you watching? Speaking of TV, do you watch much these days?
Not really. I don't really like talking. Like it's one of those things where it's like I live in Paris. It's like I don't watch television. I mean, I do imbibe television content.
In all fairness, yeah, your television is on. Like, for instance, it was on 6 hours yesterday of the mini Super NES loading screen.
Yes.
So I got to see the F-Zero trailer a bunch of times.
Yeah, exactly. It's like watching the demos of that.
And Super Mario RPG.
I do watch Last Week Tonight.
Okay,
I love that. Like, that's the closest thing I have to appointment television.
Do you watch Daily Show?
You know what? Yeah, I like Trevor Noah. He's kind of been finding his footing and stuff like that. But that's one of those things. Same with all of this stuff. I pretty much watch it all through like my YouTube or something like that.
Sure.
Like, it's usually I kind of like I don't mind waiting like 24 hours or 48 hours to like. To ingest the stuff.
Yeah, I'm a cord cutter too. Yeah, I don't even have cable.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
You know what I mean? I have Hulu and all that stuff. So
yeah, Nathan For You.
Yeah,
love.
that. You want anything funny? The reason I brought this up because I was gonna bring up Nathan For You.
Oh, because
that's awesome. Yeah.
It is some of the best stuff.
Genius.
Is it genius? My favorite was the Best Buy like thing
where he wore the blue shirt.
Well, no.
With the
price
matching.
matching.
Yeah.
And then there's the alligator and all that. But then honestly,
you had to climb through the fucking the
alligator through a tiny door and
to
all
get the TV. Yeah.
Oh, it's so freaking genius. And actually, the master stroke it really is for me. I thought it was his most master stroke was that he had to get the owner of the other electronics store to get like a letter from a psychiatrist that he was like delusional.
Oh yeah, that he was crazy.
And so that he told this, had him just tell the story of actually what had been going on,
and no one believed.
There's a little door, and there's an alligator, and just next thing you know, she's like, he's delusional.
It was great.
And it was kind of like, just
the master plan of it all.
Just manipulating this kid guy. It was a master stroke. I still like it.
I think my two favorite. I don't know if you're familiar with Louis Theroux, the interviewer.
Yeah,
the
okay, yeah.
So I'd say Nathan has a similar quality in the sense of like he just knows when to shut the fuck up and let people
talk.
And it's insane. So like my two favorite.
When to say go on.
My two favorite sound bites on the show. The episode where he does the man cave thing in the back of the store.
Yes.
And there's that one dude in there who's like not really down to talk, and he gives him a beer, and then he's like, "Hey man, you like having sex?" And the guy's like, "Yeah, I guess so." He's like, "What about wearing condoms?" He's like, "Nah, fuck that." He's like, "I know, I pull out, but I get close sometimes, right?" And the guy's like, "Yeah." No, the guy says it.
And then he just starts.
He goes, "You pull out?" And the guy goes, "Yeah. I get close sometimes, though."
Yeah, and exactly. And it starts getting revealing, and you just let people.
The best thing ever.
I call it the go on principle.
Yeah, and my favorite.
Once you get people going, just say go on and let them go.
The best example of that on Nathan For You is when they brought the drunk kid into the antique store, and then he revealed that him and his brother have threesomes with the same girls.
And then he goes back
Nathan
to their house
was like, "Can I go meet him?" And he was like, "Yeah." And it
sure.
cuts to the dude being like, "Yeah, we have threesomes."
Yeah, sure. Like him and his brother, he's like their backyard.
And then Nathan just sadly goes like, "Okay. I guess I'm gonna go now."
Yeah,
and it says two random fucking dudes.
Thanks. Like just
"Hey man, you want to hang out?"
Yeah, fair. So any of you listeners, like yes, Nathan For You, like it's fantastic.
If you haven't seen Nathan For You,
I was late to the party, but at that it goes back to something that we were talking. Oh, dumb Starbucks.
That's what clued me in on.
But it goes back to something that we were talking about before, where it was kind of just like, isn't it great when you find something that you really like, and all of a sudden you have a back catalog?
I have no problem being late to the party on things. I only started watching Venture Brothers like a few months ago.
Oh gosh, I am yeah. Side note, I want to invite Doc to this
podcast.
He is
absolutely.
one of my favorite people. He is I call him the quintessential dinner guest.
Oh, dude, I have no problem what I call Babe Ruthing it. Let's call our shots. If there's someone you want on this podcast, let's just fucking put it out into the ether. We want you, Doc Hammer.
He is he is like I said, one of the most charming people I know.
Justin Roiland, we're coming for you. Yeah, buddy.
Oh yeah, no, don't get me started.
Be warned.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what's cool, man. We're gonna. We won't necessarily have a guest every episode or even every few episodes, but like...
Yeah, there's no real format to this
There's
thing.
some cool people who are floating around
yeah,
though,
exactly.
who can come and chat on this thing.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, we'll call in some favors.
There's no real format other than the fact that we are definitely going to do a commentary for Airborne.
Yes.
And not invite Seth.
And Seth definitely won't be here.
The part of Seth Green will be played by Macaulay Culkin for this commentary. And I'll play the roller skate kid who's never in another movie, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
but I'll flesh out where he's been in between, man.
Oh no, totally.
He's seen some things.
Oh yeah,
that roller skate kid.
Yeah. He's probably chopped someone's head off in Thailand. Too soon.
Hey guys. Thailand, we love you, Thailand, but you got a problem with chopping people's heads off. Like, look, Australia's working on their racist thing.
Oh yeah,
and
do you know that some of that?
South
story?
America's working on the kidnapping. I know that.
Okay, good. I'm not going to tell it here.
Guys, we know a story that we're not going to tell here, but it involves someone chopping.
But also, we wanted to make
off.
sure we went over it so we both knew it.
Go see Changeland. Go see Changeland, the directorial debut. More promotion for Thailand. I'm sure, like their travel bureau is really excited right now.
Yeah, but we're definitely
beautiful country, wonderful people.
Fantastic. I had a good time. Like I said, I came back with a worm, but that was my own fault. That was like that's what I get for sleeping in bed with a stray cat.
Yo, we are just straight shit talking every country on the
I know,
planet
right?
on this podcast.
Yeah, Canada, go fuck yourself.
We're coming for you, Latvia, next fucking week. Beyond warning.
Uzbekistan, eat a dick.
And I think that pretty much rounds it up for the
Yeah,
first app, right?
exactly. Yeah, no.
Just kind of a get to know us.
Yeah, exactly.
We're
kind
just
of
two dudes that are going to do this podcast
know.
every week on blank Thursday, Slormday.
Yeah, we'll go into that.
Yeah,
in
and
future
again,
episodes.
and if you folks wanna interact or leave comments and tell us how we're doing, definitely subscribe on. I'm going to give this is the podcast spiel, Mac. Here we go,
exactly,
right?
I know. Yeah,
That's why they pay me the
You're good at
non-bucks.
this.
Yeah. Subscribe on iTunes. We're there under Bunny Ears. Leave a review. Hopefully a good one.
A good one. Yeah.
Yeah. You guys don't need to make me feel self-conscious, please. Like, I'm trying my best not to ruin this whole thing. So
I know. He's pretty neurotic. So just at least for him, just say something nice about Matt.
Thank you, guys.
Me, I don't care. I'm not going to read this.
Give us a rate and review on iTunes and Stitcher and all that fun stuff. If you want to interact with the show, you can email us at bunnyearspod@gmail.com. Maybe you have a show idea. Maybe you just have feedback. Maybe you want to out a celebrity who did something inappropriate to you.
Some kind of sexual harassment thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really hot right now.
We're willing to do that for you. And on Twitter, the show is at Bunny Ears Pod. And the rumor is Mr. Culkin might jump on that Twitter account every now and again to interact with some folks.
I know. I'm Mr. Twitter man, I guess.
Suddenly,
exactly.
Mr. Social over here.
Yeah, exactly. And I have a feeling I'd be good at it, but that's why I haven't been doing it.
And we're working on the, we'll get the Insta and the Reddit and all that stuff.
Yeah,
guys,
we'll plug all that
We're going to
stuff.
grow it organically, all right?
Yeah.
You know, like a beautiful flower.
Yeah, exactly. How Hollywood of you to use the word organic.
Yeah, it's going to be synergistic. Organic.
Yeah. It's like Pulp Fiction meets Juno.
Yeah. You know what? If I had to sum up Bunny Ears and people ask me that, I'd be like, it's Pulp Fiction meets Juno meets Stranger Things meets Wonder Woman.
With a little WTF in there. Boom.
Yeah, and then just straight comedy bang bang. We're just ripping off all of Ackerman.
With a little U-porn thrown in there.
And if you guys, for some reason, want to check me out, I'm on Twitter at CamelToad. CamelToad. See, it's not the gross way; it's like the cute way. They're friends.
That's adorable.
Get your minds out of the gutter, and that's the first Bunny Ears.
All right, cool. Yeah. All right, y'all, you listeners, try not to suck too much dick in between listening to this episode of the next one. But if you do send pics,
our sign off. Yeah. If you do send pics, but only consensually, and also don't then be like Macaulay Culkin trying to get me to send pictures
exactly.
of me sucking too much dick on his podcast. And then we got to shut down this podcast, and we get replaced with like Christopher Plummer. It's Devin Sawa and fucking I don't even know, some annoying guy.
His Jewish friend.
And what's the bald kid on WWE Network sometimes has a podcast? Oh, Rosenberg or something. Whatever. The deep cut guys. We're gonna stop the wrestling stuff. I swear. It won't. It won't all be wrestling.
We'll just pepper it.
But thank you guys for listening and
suck some dick.
Yeah, go suck some dick. Bye.
Find me, gag me, take me to the bunny ranch.